Women around the world continue to express their solidarity with the women's marches here in the West. Jihan, a Yazidi woman in Iraq, told reporters, quote, "I stood up and cheered when Scarlett Johansson highlighted the terrible injustice that Hollywood actresses are paid fewer millions than Hollywood actors simply because they don't draw as large an audience. Or at least I would have stood up and cheered if I hadn't been chained to the wall of the house where I'm being held as a sex slave by the same Islamist who slaughtered my children and my husband. I was feeling pretty bad about that, I admit, but now I realize it is nothing compared to the plight of American actresses. Women in Los Angeles may look wealthy and coddled and privileged and whiny and self-obsessed and narcissistic and self-obsessed and coddled and privileged and whiny. But who am I to judge? After all, I'm just a sex slave," unquote. In Yemen, housewife Thana Nawal told reporters how she reacted to Ashley Judd's "I'm a nasty woman" speech, saying, quote, "I swear to Allah I would have applauded this nasty actress if my husband would not have beaten me for disturbing him. How terrible it is that Ashley Judd must have her period, which stains her favorite underwear. I fear this will even be a problem for me when I start to have my period, which might come as early as when I turn 12. Also, my heart bleeds for America's mistreatment of homosexuals by those who disapprove of them, which is almost like the Nazi Holocaust, except it leaves the homosexuals alive, which of course we would never do," unquote. Finally, Saudi housewife Hissa Malik says she was inspired by the fact that the co-leader of the Women's March was Palestinian-American radical Linda Sarsour, who believes in bringing Sharia law to America. Mrs. Malik said, quote, "Linda Sarsour has proudly proclaimed that we women here in Saudi Arabia get 10 weeks paid maternity leave. I have certainly had a lot of time to reflect on how lucky we are since I am serving a year in prison for posting online pictures of my husband raping our maid. This, of course, defamed my husband terribly by showing everyone the rape he was committing in the privacy of his own home. I am so glad Women's March leader Linda Sarsour is seeking to bring Sharia to America because all those inspiring women in pussy hats would then be arrested, as they deserve. Really, it would drive me crazy not to have Sharia if I were allowed to drive," unquote. Of course, the Women's March didn't just inspire women. When female marchers bared their breasts and dressed up as gigantic vaginas, it also inspired many 13-year-old boys who already believe women are gigantic vaginas with bared breasts, but were afraid that was just some stupid adolescent fantasy they were having until the Women's March proved that no, on the left, it's reality. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan, and this is The Andrew Klavan Show.